Welcome to the Unfuck Your Relationships podcast, the podcast where we are not just unfucking your love life, but unfucking your relationship to yourself and your entire life. Around here, we raise your standards, we break patterns, we upgrade your self-concept. We are talking about boundaries, money, shadow work, your relationship to your body, sex, all of it. We are covering your entire life, baby. Think of this podcast as like big sister energy where I am no fluff, no bullshit, but I am also very open with my heart and I'm going to share all of me with you, and that will be able to transform your entire life through you listening to this podcast. So if you are ready to stop settling for the bare minimum and actually be the woman that you can wake up in the morning and be proud of, you are in the right place. Let's get into today's episode. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to the Unfuck Your Relationships podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Panning, and this is episode 231. And this is the last episode of 2025. Can you fucking believe it? I know I feel like we say this every year, but I genuinely feel like this year particularly, I blinked and it is over. Like, I literally went through a breakup on the 3rd of Jan, 2025. And now I'm in another, like a new relationship. That's wild to me. I was planning like this year is like my solo year, like self-love. My relationship came out of nowhere and I ain't mad about it. Trust me, I ain't mad about it. But holy crap, so much has happened this year. And I know for so many of you in my DMs, my clients that I've been speaking to, this year has just been like a whole thing. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Can we just all collectively take a breath? Because, wowie. So I personally am very excited to come into 2026 with some fresh energy. I've got some very cool things happening. I'm very excited about what's going to be happening in the business and yeah, just like different routes that I'm going to take, which feels very exciting. But before we move into 2026, we need to end 2025 with a sense of completion. And I feel like people really miss the mark when it comes to this because they just get in the excitement energy of, oh my God, new year, new me. And I love that for you. I love that for me. I'm a Virgo, okay? I love January. I love Mondays. I love, I love very specific, like nothing gives me greater joy than when the first of the month falls on a Monday. Ugh, does that not just feel so sexy to you guys? I feel like I'm laughing because my girlfriend is an Aries and she couldn't give a fuck about that. Like she is like messy action to a T. Like she actually like is so decisive and just takes action immediately, and it's one of my favorite things about her. Like she literally has an idea for something and then the next day she's like, I've created it. I'm like, wow. But for me, the first falling on a Monday is so insanely sexy to me. So I love new year, new me energy. And where people miss the mark is that they don't take the time to actually reflect on the year before, or even you could do the month before or the week before, or it's like even at the end of your day, like however granular you want to get with this, but they don't take the time to reflect. And so then they have these grand desires or goals for the next year, but they haven't taken the time to look at what worked and what didn't and what actually needs to shift moving forward. So that's kind of what we're going to get into, is focusing on this sense of completion for the year for 2026. So let's get into it. So the first thing is that you are not meant to carry everything forward with you into 2026. Like I said, this is about completion. And to do that, we need to look at what didn't work. What boundaries did you not stand behind? What standards are you no longer willing to negotiate with? What friendships, relationships, behaviors, patterns, thoughts, what can no longer come with you into this new year? What part of you needs to be let go? What actually just feels outdated? And you know how you know this, where you're doing the work and then something comes out of your mouth and you say something like, I'm just going to use this example. Oh, well, money doesn't grow on trees. And you've been doing a lot of work on money. And you're like, that's so weird. Like, I don't believe that. That's an outdated program that just came out of your mouth unconsciously. So it's about looking at those outdated programs or the friendships or the relationships. And it's like, what am I actually just doing on autopilot and what can no longer come with me? 2025 probably asked and required a lot of you. And you may had gotten into some survival energy. And with that, those patterns don't need to come with you into the new year. Like, I know this year was fucking tough. This year was fucking tough for me. And I had to look at where I hoard my energy and where I overgive my energy and find an equilibrium. And like I said, like, I've let go of friendships, I've let go of romantic relationships, a romantic relationship, all of these things. It's like, I just knew that I couldn't continue in these dynamics and I had to take responsibility for my part. So there are versions of you that actually just can't come into the new year. Otherwise, we're going to be having this same conversation on what? December 29th, 2026. Let's not do that. Okay? Point number 2 is that you don't need to become someone else. You need to start listening to yourself. There's so much noise online, and you probably listen to a bunch of different podcasts. You follow different personal development stuff on Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. You're reading books, you're doing all the things, but you need to actually listen to yourself, to your intuition, listening to what feels good, what feels heavy, what feels out of alignment, what lights you the fuck up, what do you feel a full yes to, what do you feel an absolute no to, what do you feel a maybe, what do you feel a maybe to? And your body is always communicating with you. It's communicating through your boredom, through your resistance, through what lights you up, all of these things. It's telling you more about like which direction to go in. So when people ask me, what's my purpose? How do I find out what my purpose is? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I can't be like, oh my God, you should go to school for like art therapy, or you should become a therapist, or you should be an accountant, or you should go study music. Like, I don't know, right? I can't tell you if you should become a doctor or a fucking life coach. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that by following the threads of desire, by following the threads of what feels exciting, what feels like it's lighting you up, following your yes, that is going to guide you more and more towards what you do want. So you can go hear my story if you want to go listen to episode 1 of this podcast. I tell my whole story in details. I won't go through it again, in that much detail, because it's like, I don't know, 40 minutes or something. But you can go listen to that. And that was me following my yes. Guys, I stripped for 11 years. I had no fucking idea what I wanted to do. At one point, I wanted to be a chiropractor. Can you imagine? I'd be like, oh my God, this is hard work. Not that coaching isn't hard. Like, it's definitely got its moments, but I'm certainly not doing manual labor. So when something no longer lights you up, it's information. Listen to that. It's okay to feel complete with something, whether that's a relationship, a job, a belief, a pattern, a friendship, where you live. It's okay to feel complete and to actually allow your desires to evolve as you evolve. Point number 3, and this is a big one. Since we're on the theme of completion, I know so many of you would be like, I need closure with my last relationship. And this happens every single round of the Connected Woman when we do the men module, and their eyes are like wide open around men. because it's such an impactful module. And then every single time I'm like, okay, so here's the thing. No one reach out to your ex to go apologize. And they're like, oh my God, you read my mind. I really was about to do that exact same thing. I'm like, I know. So closure is an illusion. You do not need an apology. You do not need an explanation. You do not need one last closing conversation. For what? Like, if you guys broke up, you broke up for a reason. And obviously, there's circumstances where this person's going to be in your life if you guys share children or maybe you own a business together. There's different circumstances. I understand that. But in terms of the relationship, like, for what? Why do we need to be unpacking things for a 19th time? And people can get very stuck in this loop of like, just one more conversation. I'm going to get closure. If you are so confused about why the relationship ended, is there any answer that they could give you that would give you satisfaction as to like, oh, that makes sense. I feel perfectly moved on from it now? No, probably not. Closure is an inside job. Closure is a decision for us to move on. That whether or not we know why the relationship ended or what was going on for them, it's actually none of our business. I understand, like, humans are meaning making machines. We want to understand. We want context. We want to know, but why? Why? That's always the thing, right? Even like, murder things. It's like, but why? Why? And we want motive, and that's just human nature. But when it comes to relationships ending or friendships ending or whatever, like, I get the temptation, like, trust me, I've been there where I'm like, I need to understand what the fuck was going on in your mind. I have to understand. And the reality is, you may never get that. If you're waiting for an apology from your partner, your ex friend, your mother, your father, you may never get that. And if you are waiting for that, that is keeping you stuck. That's it. It's keeping you stuck. And you'll be 75 years old, still waiting. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that my mother never apologized for my childhood. It's time to be an adult, my babe. Like, it is. We can recognize that we have been hurt by people, and also that doesn't mean we have to have them in our lives, but we can also choose to move on. So, closure is something you give yourself. If you're the woman who has consumed all of my podcast episodes and other podcasts, and you've read the self-help books, and you have done little masterclasses, and you've dabbled here and there, but you still keep repeating the same patterns in your love life and in friendships and in money and all of the things, and you're like, fuck, why do I keep doing this? I need to put you onto something. That is the Awakening Retreats. They're happening in January 2026, and they are the place where you get to actually transcend this behavior and finally get to do something different. So, your first retreat is going to be Awakening Her, and this is where you are connecting to your feminine energy, your pleasure, your devotion, your joy, your ecstasy, your rage, your grief, all of these pieces. So you get to live in totality of the woman that you are. And also, you're going to have an opportunity to heal your relationship with women, because the more I work with women, the more I realize how many women have felt betrayed by other women, almost more than they have felt betrayed by men. And you're really focusing on healing your relationship to yourself, to your body, to your sexuality, to your joy, to your confidence, to your insecurities, all of the things. And then your second retreat is Awakening Him. And this is where we're anchoring into your masculine energy. So your relationship to responsibility and integrity, following through on the things that you say that you're going to do, discipline, discernment, direction, all of these things, and healing your relationship with men, as well as then bringing this into a focus of how do you then bring this into relationships. So everything that you learned at Awakening Her and about expansion and emotional expression and all of these things, how do you then hold that containment and bring that into your romantic relationships and your friendships? And that is really the focus of Awakening Him. You can choose to do either or, but I've designed them to go together as a pair, and that is what most women who have decided to do the retreats have chosen to do. I do want to say these are the last retreats that I'm going to be running. If you've been saying, oh, I'll go to the next one, or when you come to the States, I'll do it. I'm never running one in the States. I can tell you that right now. and I'm not running more retreats in the future. This is your time. Make a fucking holiday out of it. Come to Australia. Most of the women who have signed up are coming from the US, which is very cool. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. Otherwise, the link will be in the description. I cannot wait to see you there. Let's get back to the episode. And this final point is that as you step into this new year, and I know there's going to be people being like, I'm listening in 2028. Same fucking principles, babe. As you step into this new year, the woman you are becoming requires you to have a different relationship with yourself, a deeper relationship with yourself. If you are anything like me, you've got some hefty fucking goals. Maybe it's like you want to manifest the relationship, your dream relationship, or you want to completely transform your marriage, or you want to actually get the courage to divorce your husband, or you want to embrace your sexuality, or you want to start your business. Maybe you want to start your own podcast. You want to save $100,000. You want to, give your children the life that you never had as a child. Whatever your goals are, you want to lose 30 kilos, you want to be in the best shape of your life, you want to run a marathon, whatever your goals are, it requires a different relationship to yourself. It requires less self-betrayal. It requires you to not abandon yourselves in situations and moments where that is the default, where it is so easy to do that. It requires you to face things head on instead of shutting down. It requires you to take accountability and responsibility. It requires you to soften and be vulnerable. It requires you to open your heart instead of staying closed. It requires you to be resilient. It requires you to keep going even when you want to fucking stop. It requires you to show up when it's hard, like especially when it's fucking hard. And I don't just mean like, oh my God, it's fucking raining outside. I don't feel like going to the gym. Yeah, we understand that as a society. We're like, yes, that's hard. I get it. Running a marathon, that's hard. Yes, that thing is absolutely difficult. And after a while, it becomes your norm. I'm hoping. Right? I live in literally the fitness capital of Australia, the Gold Coast. Everyone is fit. Everyone is up at 5 a.m. getting their morning coffee or their matcha, and they're going for a run or hot Pilates or going to the gym or walking their dog, going for a beach swim, a surf. Very fitness heavy. Okay. So like I'm looking to those people to being like, okay, cool. If you can do it, I can do it. But what I'm saying is like the hard things is not just those things on paper that we see as hard. Okay, starting a business, starting a podcast, running a marathon. What's hard is choosing, I'm going to stay open when everything in me wants to close. I'm going to set this boundary and I'm going to stick to it, even though this person is pushing back on it and they're challenging my boundary. I'm going to show up even when I don't feel like it. I'm going to lean in and be vulnerable, even when I want to just be like, it's fine. No, I'm cool. No, I'm good. I'm the cool girl. I'm going to choose to soothe myself instead of immediately reaching out to someone. I'm going to choose to sit with my emotions rather than dissociate or, scroll or whatever it is. And you're not going to get this right all of the time. There's going to be moments where you fuck it up, and that's okay. But that's the clock it, own it, clean it up, where you're like, okay, cool, I did that. Now, can we shorten the gap between you doing the pattern and you cleaning it up and choosing something different rather than getting stuck in it for days, weeks, months, years, right? It's like, can we shorten it to like maybe hours or even minutes? Or maybe it gets to the point where you're not even doing that at all and you are choosing the new path. So these are the things that we want to look at. What patterns need to stay in 2025? What am I complete with? What feels finished? What feels like an open loop that I can actually just go take action and close that loop right now? Maybe it's literally as simple as all your fucking unread text messages, or cleaning out your camera roll, or cleaning out your fucking screenshots, or your emails, or whatever it is. It can be simple things as well, where we feel like, okay, I feel like there's a real sense of completion on this year. And then now I can move into this new year as a new me. And again, we don't need to wait till January 1st. I hate to tell you this, but like nothing magically happens when the clock strikes 12:01 January 1st. You're still the same fucking person. So this is why it requires choice. And this is why so many people abandon their New Year's resolutions by 2 weeks in. Easy. Because they haven't built the muscle to end the identity of someone who is consistent with the things that they say that they want. So moral of the story is, you don't have to reinvent yourself overnight, okay? And you don't have to rush into 2026, but you do need to decide the woman that you're going to be. And that woman, what decisions does she make? What investments does she make? How does she show up in her relationships? What is her relationship to her phone? What is her relationship to her body? What is your relationship to your friends? What is your relationship to your mindset? What is your relationship to relationships themselves? These are the questions that we want to be asking as we round out 2025, okay? So if you're like, I am seriously fucking ready, I'm not repeating the same shit over and over and over in 2026, then get yourself on a fucking plane or drive here, whatever you need to do, boat, plane, train, fucking pigeon carrier, I don't give a shit. Get yourself to the Awakening Retreats happening the 16th to the 19th of January and the 23rd to the 26th of January. So we've got the first one, Awakening Her, which is about your feminine energy, your relationship to power, pleasure, your erotic energy, your healing your sisterhood wounds of comparison, competition, jealousy. We're tapping into, your sense of safety within yourself, your like primal wild energy. There's a lot. And then the second one is Awakening Him, healing your relationship to your masculine, your ability to take action and follow through, and healing your relationship to men and to relationships. So it's like in Awakening Her, you reconnect to yourself, and then in Awakening Him, you now bring this into relationships so that you can have the most thriving, fulfilling relationships, whether it's with men, women, fucking whoever, doesn't matter. And this will pour into your friendships as well. So if you're feeling the pull, the link will be in the description. I can't wait to see you there. I love you so much. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I will see you next week. Mwah. Love you. Bye. All right, my love, thank you so much for listening to today's podcast episode. Take what resonates and leave the rest. There is no obligation, but you do have a responsibility to yourself to actually do the work. So implement what you have learned here. Let this episode be a reminder that you are built for more. You are not built for the bare minimum. You are not built for mediocre. You are meant to live a big, beautiful, bold life. And if you want to go deeper, come follow me over on Instagram at Michelle Panning. The link will be in the description. That is where I share all the behind the scenes content, and you will get to follow me and my journey as I raise my standards alongside you. So I love you. I believe in your next level, and I will see you in the next episode. Now go unfuck your life, babe.